Okay, good morning. Good morning, students. I am hereby to take your lecture on Science 2. Just now I will share my screen, then we will start. Yeah, now we will start our lecture. Very good morning to all my dear students and my CNO ma'am and all the expert teachers. I am hereby from Mumbai, Brand Mumbai Municipal Corporation. I am hereby the person from the online education and myself, Jayashree Jaiswal. I am from Chinchawle English School, Malad West. I am hereby to take the lecture of 9th standard of Science 2 subject. And as 2 days before only, we have started our chapter number 16, Heredity and Variation. Today is the third session. So we will be seeing this coming topics from this lessons. Yes, students? Yeah. First of all, starting for the new topic, we will discuss. As in the previous lecture, we have studied about the DNA, structure of DNA, types of nitrogenous bases, nucleic acid, molecular formula or a form of a DNA, gene, and a project which was related to SIDS of technology, that is Human Genome Project. And at last, we have seen the DNA fingerprinting. So what was the DNA fingerprinting? The sequence of the genes in the DNA of a person, that is the genome of the person is identified, and it is useful to identify the lineage and to identify criminals because it is a unique to every person. So after DNA fingerprinting and the Human Genome Project, we have seen before. So now moving further, we will go to the topic that is RNA. But just now I have shown one slide. In this, what we are seeing, the structure of DNA and RNA. Yes, we are seeing the structure of DNA and RNA. This is the structure of DNA and this is the structure of RNA. Yes, so the structures of DNA and RNA are almost the same or similar to each other. Yeah, they are almost similar to each other. But as DNA is a double helical structure and RNA is a single strand. DNA is a double helical structure and RNA is a single stranded. The only difference between this DNA and the RNA is what? First of all, both consist what? This four nitrogenous bases. Only the one thing is different. See, in DNA, The four nitrogenous bases are cytosine, guanine, adenine, and thymine. What are the four nitrogen bases in DNA? Cytosine, guanine, adenine, and thymine. But in RNA, it is also made up of four what? Nitrogenous bases. But there is one changes. What it is? See, it is made up of cytosine, guanine, adenine, and last one is uracil. In DNA, it is thymine, and in RNA, it is uracil. Only this is the difference between this, that DNA is double helical, it is and in this one RNA is a one stranded, but these both are made up of four nitrogenous bases. The three bases are same. Only one difference is that in DNA it is thymine and in RNA it is uracil. You got the difference between this structure of DNA and RNA. Now in more detail, we will see the about the RNA. Yes. Now, as the term or the short form RNA, what is the full form of the RNA? The full form of the RNA is ribonucleic acid. As the full form of DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid. What is the full form of RNA? RNA, it is ribonucleic acid. Yes. Now, as DNA is the most important, but RNA is also the second important nucleic acid of the cell. It is the second important nucleic acid of the cell. This nucleic acid, just we have seen, this nucleic acid is made up of ribose sugar, phosphate molecules, and four types of nitrogen bases. That is adenine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil. In DNA, it is thymine, but in RNA, the fourth one is uracil. Keep in mind. Okay. The nucleotide, that is, what is a nucleotide? The smallest unit of the chain of RNA molecule is formed by the combination of what? Ribose sugar, phosphate molecule, and one of the nitrogen bases. Yes. How it is? What is the nucleotide here? The smallest unit of the chain of the RNA molecule is formed by what? The combination of ribose sugar, then phosphate molecule, and one of the nitrogen bases. Yes. Now, the large number of nucleotides are bonded together to form what? To form the macromolecule of the RNA. See the in this term only macro. Macro means the large number. It is having large number of molecules. And in micro it suggests it is having a small number of nucleotides. So when it is said the macromolecule of RNA, it is formed, it means there are large number of nucleotides are bonded together. Up till here you understood what is RNA? RNA, what is the full form of RNA? RNA is what? Ribonucleic acid. RNA is the second important nucleic acid of the cell. It is made up of what? Ribose sugar, phosphate molecule, and four types of nitrogenous bases, that is adenine, guanine, cytosine, and uracil. Now, what is nucleotide? The nucleotide is the what? Smallest unit of the chain of the RNA molecule is formed by what? A combination of a ribose sugar, phosphate molecule, and one of the nitrogen bases. Only one of the nitrogen bases. There are four nitrogen bases, only one type of, okay? And the large number of nucleotides are bonded together to form what? Macromolecule of RNA. Students, if you are present with, you are having your notebooks with you can write this important points in your notebook also. You have to listen and you have to point out also. Yeah. Now, moving further, according to the functions of the RNA, there are three types of RNA. On which basis this RNA, different types of RNA are made or it has identified according to their function. According to their function, they are divided into three types of RNA. First one is ribosomal RNA. It is indicated by small r. rRNA, it is called as rRNA. Second is messenger RNA. Messenger, it is denoted by the small m. So it is written as mRNA. And the third one is transfer RNA. It is denoted by small tRNA. Means there are three types of RNA: ribosomal RNA, messenger RNA, transfer RNA. If we say it in the short form, it is rRNA, mRNA, and tRNA. Up till here, you understood how many types of RNA? Three types of RNA: ribosomal, messenger, transfer. As the first letter of this terms only indicates there the short form. A ribosomal means rRNA. Messenger RNA means mRNA. Transfer RNA means tRNA. Now, up till here, you get the three types of RNA. Now, we will see further more details about it. Moving further to the messenger RNA, that is mRNA. Yeah. Now, what is mRNA? Now, mRNA. This picture shows the structure of this messenger mRNA. Okay. Now, what is the function? Messenger RNA carries copies of instructions for assembling amino acids into proteins. What is the function of messenger RNA? What? It carries copies of instructions for what? For assembling amino acids into what? Proteins. Means what? The components of the ribosome organelle. Yes. And it helps in what? Protein synthesis. As it is indicated for assembling amino acids into proteins. It means what? It helps in protein synthesis. Understood? The RNA molecule that carries the information of photosynthesis from genes, that is DNA chain in the cell nucleus, to ribosomes which are present in the cytoplasm and which produces the proteins, is called as messenger RNA. What are the messenger RNA? What is the function is there? The RNA molecule that carries the information. Information of what? Protein synthesis. From where? From the genes. Genes means what? The DNA chain where it is present in the cell nucleus. It is carried to where? To the ribosomes, and ribosomes are present in the cytoplasm. And what they do? Which produces the proteins. They produces the proteins, and so it is called as a messenger RNA. So it is said that this RNA, what? This RNA carries the information of protosynthesis from genes on DNA chain in the nucleus to the ribosomes in the cytoplasm. Up till here you understood what it is? Yeah. Means what? What does this mRNA does? So it goes into the nucleus, then it attaches the foldings of the DNA, and the DNA unbinds, and this mRNA attaches with the one strand of the DNA and the unfolds. Then the coding of the DNA comes to the comes on the RNA. Suppose for example, if the coding of the DNA is A and G, adenine and guanine. So what comes along with A? So it is what? T will come on with mRNA. If G is on DNA, then C will come on from the mRNA. So only the difference will be, instead of thymine, uracil will be seen. Okay? Instead of thymine, uracil will be seen. So up till here we have seen about the messenger RNA which carries the information of the protein synthesis from genes on DNA chain in nucleus to the ribosomes in the, where the ribosomes are present, in the cytoplasm. This is mRNA. Now moving further to the second type, that is ribosomal RNA. It denotes, or it is denoted by which Short form, small r, rRNA. Yes? Now what is ribosomal RNA? First of all, component of the ribosome organelles. Now see, proteins are assembled on the ribosomes made up of ribosomal RNA. What? These proteins are assembled on where? In the ribosomes, and these ribosomes are present in the cytoplasm. And they are made up of what? Ribosomal RNA. Ribosomal RNA helps to build what? The actual protein. So it is said that this ribosomal RNA is helping in protein synthesis. Okay, this ribosomal RNA helps to build the actual protein, and this RNA puts together the amino acid messages carried by where? mRNA, and it is decoded by the tRNA. mRNA will carries the information, rRNA will help in the process of photosynthesis, and then it is decoded by the tRNA. We will see in the transfer RNA. So, the molecule of RNA, which is a component of the ribosome organelle, is called as a ribosomal RNA. Okay, and this ribosome perform the function of protein synthesis. mRNA carries the message, carries the information of protein synthesis. Ribosomal, what it is doing? It is helping in the function, or it is in the process of protein synthesis. These are the two types of what? RNA. Moving further to transfer RNA. Now, what is a transfer RNA? It is denoted by the term tRNA. Yes. According to the message of mRNA, this tRNA carries the amino acid up to the ribosomes. Only the term only indicates transfer, means transformation from one place to another in a simple language. So what it is? According to the message of the mRNA, what does this tRNA do? tRNA carries the amino acids where? Up to the ribosomes. So the RNA molecule, which according to the message of mRNA carries the amino acids up to the ribosomes, it is called as transfer RNA. Yes, tRNA. So what are the three types of RNA? mRNA, rRNA and tRNA. Means ribosomal RNA, messenger RNA and transfer RNA. What is the function of ribosomal RNA? It helps in protein synthesis. What is the function of mRNA? It carries what? The information of protein synthesis from genes on DNA chain in the nucleus to the ribosomes, which are present in the cytoplasm. And what is the function of tRNA? That according to the message of the mRNA, what? The tRNA carries the amino acid up to the ribosomes. Up till here you understood what are the different types of RNA. Yeah. Now moving further to the topic, that is Mendel's principles of heredity. First of all, we will know about the Mendel. Now, what is the full name of Mendel's? It is Gregor John Mendel. What it is? What is the full name? Gregor John Mendel. He born on 20th July 1822. When? On 20th July 1822, and he died on 6th Jan 1884. Yeah. Now, Gregor John Mendel was an Austrian scientist. Was an Austrian scientist. He studied the inheritance of rats in where? Of some of the characteristics of the pea plants. His most of the experiments is done in pea plants only. He showed that what? The inheritance of this characteristics follows certain principles, and later this principle becomes popular by his name. So Mendel work was recognized when? Only in the 20th century. And after the reconfirmation of these principles, the same principle now form the basis of modern genetics. Okay. So the Mendel is also called as father of genetics because he was the first person to study the hereditary characters. As in history, what we say, who is called as the father of nation? Mahatma Gandhi. But in the field of heredity or in the field of science, what? Mendel is also called as the father of genetics. Why? Because he was the first person to study the hereditary characteristics. Okay. Now, so, on this basis, Mendel's principle of heredity were formed. So, principles of heredity are based upon this fact that genetic material is transferred from parents to offsprings in equal quantity more than, okay, in equal quantity. More than a century ago, Gregor John Mendel performed experiments on the pea plant and put forth what? The laws to explain the principles of heredity. Experiments performed by the Mendel, yes, experiment performed by the Mendel were based on the 7 visible characteristics of pea plant. And what is the scientific name for the pea plant is Pisum sativum. What it is? Pisum sativum. Okay. Now, just now we have seen these characteristics that are inherited are called as traits. In the previous lecture we have seen. And Mendel was the first person to succeed in predicting how traits are transferred from one generation to the next. And complete explanation requires the careful study of the genetics. Now, so what are moving further, first of all, we must know some different scientific terms. Okay. For this, we will see this slide. Okay. Now, what it is? Now, what is dominant trait? What is recessive trait? For this, we should know what is meant by the dominant and the recessive. Yes. Now for this, I will explain this to you. Now what is dominant trait? A dominant trait is an inherited characteristic that appears in an offspring through a dominant allele and masks the recessive form of trait. Now what is the mean of allele? It is gene. Okay. Dominant trait is inherited characteristic that where we seen this dominant trait in the offspring in the coming generation, and it comes through a dominant allele, means from the gene, and masks the recessive form of the trait. Yeah. Now what is recessive trait? A recessive trait is an inherited characteristic that appears in an offspring through a recessive allele, means gene, and it will only appear if dominant trait is not present. If suppose characteristics which is not transferred from the first generation to the second generation, then only this recessive trait is seen. So you understand what is the difference between dominant trait and the recessive trait. In the further studies, we have to see this. Okay. Now, next term is genotype and the phenotype. Now, what is genotype and what is phenotype? In a common way, I will explain you what is genotype. The factors or genes which are present in the offspring. The factors or genes which are present in the offspring, it is said to be as a genotype. Genotype. And what is phenotype? It is a external appearance. It is only the external appearance. Genotype means the genes or the factors which are present in the offspring, and phenotype means only it is a external appearance. Genotype represents a genetic constitution of a living organism or in other words, the particular combination of alleles means genes for a particular gene or the locus that one organism has. And what is phenotype? Phenotype is visible and observable characteristic of an organism. And difference between phenotype and genotype is that genotype is inherited from the parents and phenotype is not. Okay, genotype it is taken from the parents, but phenotype not. Up till here you understand what is dominant trait, recessive trait, genotype, phenotype. Now homozygous and heterozygous we will see further, or I will define just now. Homozygous, what is homozygous? I will explain you later. Okay, beta. Chalo. Now moving further. Now, these are the characteristics. Means what? All the Mendel's experiments were based upon this visible characteristics of the pea plant. That is Pisum sativum. And in common language in Hindi and Marathi, for the pea plant, it is Vatane. Vatane. Okay. And these characteristics are as follows. Yes. Now we will see this. Now see. In this experiment's dominant form, what are these? The dominant form is purple flowers. Recessive form is white flower. What are the color of the seed? Yellow seeds in dominant forms, green seeds in recessive. Yes. Then what is the shape of the seed? It is round seeds in dominant form, wrinkle seeds in recessive. Yes. Now what are the shape of the or the color of the pods? The green color pods are seen in dominant form. Yellow color pods are seen in recessive form. Yeah. If we will say about the shape of the pod, it is inflated pods in dominant form and constricted pods in recessive form. Okay. If we will say about the position of the flowers, these are axile flowers in dominant form, terminal flowers in recessive form. Okay. And what about the height of the plant? In dominant form, they are mostly tall plants, and in recessive form, they are dwarf plants. So this is seen in the example of the plants. We see in the form of plants. Okay. So when the characteristics are sent to the next generation, they follow certain rules, and the Mendel's laws are based on these findings only. Okay. Now, just in a previous slide, we have seen all these dominant and recessive forms in the example of plant. But when it is seen in human beings, so how this is formed? See, these are the characters. Eye color. In dominant, we can see brown or black. Recessive, blue eyes. Eye size. In dominant, is it large? But in recessive, it is small. What about the hair? In dominant, it is curly hair, but in recessive, it will be straight. How is the cheek? Cheek will be, in dominant, it is dimple cheek. In recessive, it is normal. What about the hands? In dominant, this person will be right-handed, and in recessive, he will be left-handed. Now, what about the rolling of tongue? Dominant, it is what? It's having roller, and in recessive, it is not rolling. Yeah. What about the RH factor? In dominant, it will be RH positive, and in recessive, it will be RH negative. What about the PTC tester? Means dominant is having tester and recessive is having not tester. And what about the skin pigmentation? Dominant normal and recessive albino. Means what? You understand what this is the characters which is seen according to dominant and recessive in human beings. Okay. So free earlobe and attached earlobe. It is also depends on what free earlobe is present in dominant, and attached earlobe it is seen in the recessive. Okay. So moving further to monohybrid cross means what? The Mendel's laws are based on these findings only. That Mendel's law are said to be the foundation of the modern genetics. So now what is monohybrid? cross. We will see the definition. The cross with only one pair of constructing characters is called as a monohybrid cross. Yes. Now what it is? What is monohybrid cross? In this experiment, Mendel brought about the cross between the two pea plants with only one pair of contrasting characters. And this type of cross is called as a monohybrid cross. Okay. So, as to study the monohybrid ratio, we have to consider the characteristic, that is plant height. Plant height with a pair of contrasting characteristics, tall plant and the dwarf plant. Dwarf plant means stunted, height plant means small plant. Okay, you understood up till here? Then, now moving further. Parental generation P1 consisted of tall and dwarf plants, and these plants were crossed with each other. This plants, parental presentation means now we will see that the tall plant and the dwarf plant is crossed with each other. But after crossing these plants, the F1 generation is obtained. F is what? Is for, F is what for? Filial or filial. Okay. All the F1 offsprings were tall and none of them were dwarf. How? As Mendel called tallness as a dominant character, while dwarf is said to be as a recessive character, as it was not showing its presence. Okay. So, Mendel concluded, what Mendel concluded? That the factors responsible for inheritance of characteristics are present in pairs. Okay. Now these factors are called as what? Genes. This called as genes. See the term genotype? Yeah. Genes. So dominant characters are written in capital alphabets, while recessive ones are denoted by small letters. Understood? This is the dominant character and this is the recessive character. Okay. For this, the experiment and its results are shown in a Punnett square. We will see what is a Punnett square. Okay. Method. Now all this, it is called as the Punnett square method only. For example, when TT pair of one parent and small tt means one gamete or one genes from the tall parents and one genes from the dwarf planet. TT, capital TT and the small tt, these are the genes. Okay, and when this TT and its and TT separate at the time of gamete formation, what happened? Gametes of P1 generation, that is from this two TT pairing, only one T is the gamete from here and from this one small T it is there. Yeah. So the first filial generation, when they are crossed, so we got what? The one pairing, first filial generation, what we have seen? TT means one is for tall and one is for dwarf. So what it is? We got the hybrid tall. Understood? The offspring of the F1 generation were all tall in the first generation. Even when one of the parents was dwarf, none of the offspring were dwarf. This observation made Mendel to give the principle of dominance and recessiveness. Okay. Tall is the dominant character. Tall is the dominant character, whereas dwarf is the recessive character, and the character of tallness hides the expression of dwarfness. And if the factor for tallness is absent, then only dwarfness is expressed. Understood? Tallness or dwarfness is the external appearance, and this is called as phenotype, whereas the genetic constitution is called as genotype. In previous slide, I have told you, I have explained you that phenotype means external appearance and genotype means the factors or genes present in the offspring. Understood up till here? Now, so what we have seen here? Yeah, I told you. Now, up till here, we have seen that Mendel further. So, thus, based on this, we can say that in case of tall plants of F1 and P1 generation, though they show similar phenotype, these genotypes are different. Okay, these genotypes are different. Now, Mendel further continued this experiment and brought about what? Self-fertilization in F1 plants from which a second filial means F2 generation was produced. Now how it is done in second filial generation F2? In the second filial generation F2, what happens? Both, that is tall and the dwarf types of plants appeared. So what we have he has done in this, the phenotype selfing, in the self fertilization was done. The phenotype was that both the are tall and tall. In this tall plants only the cross was done. The genotype was what? One capital T and small t. Yes, in both. What are the gametes here? Capital T, small t. In second also capital T and small t. And with the help of this Punnett square method, when these gametes are crossed, when these gametes are crossed, self-crossed between F1 plants, what happens? What we have seen that, what is the ratio? See, the clear, pure tall plant is only 1. Yeah, but this is also capital T and small t. These are in the 2, means number 2. Means these are the hybrid one. And the clear and the pure dwarf plant is 1. So what is the ratio? 1 is to 2 is to 1. Yes, 1 pure tall plant. In second filial generation, what he got? That 1 is total pure tall plant. Yes, and 2 hybrid. Yeah, hybrid tall, and third one is only a single dwarf plant. So here comes when a pure means homozygous dominant, means same gametes are there, homozygous dominant. Second, two, I told hybrid, here two heterozygous tall plants are there and one homozygous recessive. When the gametes are same, they are called as a homozygous dominant. But when the gametes are different, capital T, small t, then they are called as a heterozygous. Yes, heterozygous. So the phenotypic ratio in this is what? 3 tall plants, 1 dwarf plants are visible in F2 progeny. Yes. So what it is clear that in the second filial generation F2, both, that is tall and dwarf types of plants appeared. According to the data collected by Mendel, out of 929 pea plants, 705 were tall and 224 were short. Okay. Thus, the phenotypic typic ratio of these plants is 3, means tall, is to 1 dwarf, and genotypic ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 1. Means what? Homozygous is 1, heterozygous is 2, and clear homozygous recessive is dwarf means 1:2:1. So, thus it can be inferred that in the F2 generation, phenotypically there are two types of plants, whereas genotypically there are three types. And these types are shown as that TT means homozygous clear tall plants, pure recessive small tt means homozygous plant, but when a gamete capital T and a small t is there, it is said to be as a heterozygous. Yeah, up till here you understood. So these are the topics which we have seen in this period. Yeah, in this lecture. So today what we have seen about the difference between the structure of DNA and RNA. What is the main difference? That in DNA it is thymine, the fourth nitrogenous basis, and in RNA it is uracil. It is uracil. Then we have seen about the different types of RNA which are divided according to the functions. What are the different types of RNA? Ribosomal RNA, that is rRNA, messenger RNA, that is mRNA, and transfer RNA, that is tRNA. What is the functions of rRNA? It helps in the protein synthesis. What is the function of mRNA? It carries the information of protein synthesis from genes on DNA chain in the nucleus to the ribosomes which are present in the cytoplasm. What is the function of the tRNA? According to the message of the mRNA, tRNA carries the amino acids up to the ribosomes. Yes. After that, we have seen about the Mendel's principles of heredity. We have seen about the Mendel, who is known as the what? Father of genetics, because he was the first person to study the hereditary characteristics. Yes. Then we have seen that how this Mendel has performed the experiments in the pea plant. Yeah, 7 characteristics we have seen: the shape of the seed, color of the seed, color of the flower, shape of the pot, color of the pot, position of the flower, height of the flower. Then we have seen the different scientific terms: dominant and recessive, genotype and phenotype. Yeah, then we have go through the heterozygous and homozygous. Yeah, and then we have seen the monohybrid cross. How does the Mendel has performed the experiment in this? Yeah. So in monohybrid, we have seen the Punnett square method, where we have seen that all the plants are what? Purely tall, and one is only dwarf plants there. In second filial generation, we have seen the same thing, that but we have seen the ratio. What is the ratio here? 1:2:1. Yeah, 1:2:1. One pure tall plant, two is also it is a hybrid tall, and one is dwarf plant. Up till here, we have seen about the monohybrid cross, how this Mendel has experimented. And in our next lecture, we will see about how the Mendel's experiments were done on the dihybrid cross. So, my dear students, all these topics will be asked in your exams in the form of short notes. Yeah, it can be asked, write the structure of ribonucleic acid. It can be asked, write the short note on a types of RNA. It will be asked, write about the Mendel's principles of heredity. Yeah, how he has performed the experiments in monohybrid cross with the help of Punnett square. Yeah, in this way, the questions will be asked in your exam. So, my dear students, I want that in my next lecture, you should read the lesson up till here where I have explained you, so that in the next lecture you will be connected with this chapter. And I think you should do practice of the Punnett square. You can take any example and you can do it. Okay. In further lecture, we will go more in more detail for the dihybrid cross. Okay. So, my dear students, I am winding my lecture here. Yes, ma'am. I have completed my lecture now. Ma'am, are you there? So, students, please read the lessons properly and correlate the next topic with the further. So I want that you should read, learn all the definitions which I have explained you. Yes, students, thank you very much for listening my lecture. Yes, ma'am. Are you there? I have completed my lecture, ma'am. Are you there? So may I mind up? I want that all students should read the lesson. Huh? Yes, students, and be prepared. I think so. This lesson is not that so hard, but it's that it depends on what, that you should read the lesson thoroughly from the first topic only. And when you will read and read the lesson, you will get this lesson very nicely. Yeah. May I wind up with my lecture? May I? Yes, Prajakta.
Yes, Jayashree ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, I have completed.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.